now it's episode 15.
What? That's crazy.
Episode 15 of what, you might ask?
Dropbear and Panda.
Save the world.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe at iTunes,
YouTube, Stitcher,
Google Play Music,
Spotify.
Yeah, do it all.
Basically everywhere that you can possibly find podcasts, we're probably there.
Yeah, and do it for Panda because she is sick.
I am so sick. I'm actually a lot better than what I was.
Yeah, you sound like hell. Oh. Like, it is the season. It has been a plague.
Oh my gosh. It's like running rampant around Calgary right now.
Yeah.
So I wasn't feeling all that hot on Friday, but I've also had a pretty shitty past couple of weeks.
It's been pretty action-packed.
And busy and whatnot. And then I woke up Saturday and my throat was like on fire. And by 10 o'clock in the morning, I wanted to die. It is Thursday now. Didn't go to work a few days.
Yeah.
Didn't go to rehearsal twice.
Yeah.
So missed a bunch of rehearsals, missed work. Was on the couch for most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah, so we disinfected the couch.
Ugh.
Dropbear and Panda, Kensington Studio, now with formaldehyde.
Yeah.
Is that disinfectant? I don't think it is. I don't know.
Bleach?
Formaldehyde?
No. We have bleach, though. I'm a little out of it, guys, because I get spaced out a little bit, so I apologize if I sound like crap and talk like crap.
Look at you. It's all that cocaine. Oh, that's gross.
We might actually edit that out.
The snort or the cocaine?
Either.
So we had some stuff that we wanted to cover.
There's a lot of... Well...
Every week, things happen.
There's way too much stuff.
Yeah.
And we usually have a whole bunch of ideas and then cross out half of them.
Yeah.
And then end up adding more stuff while we talk about other things.
The things that are happening in the week. And I've been a little out of it this week too, because I've been up to my eyeballs in deadlines. I did this big talk today. I've been like completely disconnected with the world. So I'm coming at this from what was last week's news. Doug Ford was in the news.
Ugh.
Is he still in the news?
Hell yeah.
What happened? What did we talk about? That stupid Bill 5 thing he was doing.
Well, he, in the middle of a municipal election in Toronto, he decided, hey, I'm going to now...
go from 47 seats to 25 seats.
25 seats in the Toronto municipal election. Completely
messing up voter parity.
Yeah, this was in the middle of an election. So it was a promise that he made while he was running for Premier of Ontario.
To cut costs? Was it promise to, gut Toronto? Or was it promise to, reduce costs on elections?
Just set it on fire. It'd be so much easier. I don't even know. I think it was a whole... Too many cooks in the kitchen, cutting costs, fewer people in government means I don't even know.
Right. I do remember reading something about the fact that they added seats this year to the Toronto, they added wards to the Toronto municipality this year after 4 years of research. And then to have Doug Ford gut the wards and Toronto, only Toronto is what I understand, down to 25 is not just a slap in the face, but is tantamount to war.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, so I made the mistake of commenting on a national post about this.
Yeah.
Usually, I've mentioned before, I try not to look at the comments on news articles and that kind of thing, because sometimes some really horrible people come out.
Yeah.
And I had asked the question, honestly, I don't live in Ontario. I would like to know, what are the benefits of this?
Yeah.
Why did he do it now? What is the pros and cons? I'm actually asking.
Yes.
Honestly asking.
Which is really cool.
Nobody commented.
Oh.
Which I thought was weird. I assumed somebody, at least one person, would be like, "You're a fucking retard. I can't believe you don't even know. I'm a big douchebag, blah, blah, blah." But no, didn't even have that.
Nothing. So no flamers.
I was
surprised. Trolls. No trolls. Troll free.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, unless my Facebook is weird and I'm not getting comments, but I usually do on other stuff, right? when I comment on articles and whatnot. So, yeah, it was weird. But,
okay.
Yeah,
So there you go. Like the Amnesty International went and said that, Canada is, guilty of human rights abuses.
Yeah, I mean, not human rights abuses like taking children away at the border or, starving minorities or throwing people in concentration camps.
Right.
But it's a no-no.
Well, taking away their right to equal representation, I think, is probably their issue.
Yes.
Like if you've got a city of, 2.5 million people and you've got 25 wards, right? So that's your elected representatives are representing 25 of them representing 2.5 million people.
Yeah.
So you do the math on that. Then you've got like another town, but like 800,000 people, and they've got 22 wards or 22 representatives. That's not equal.
No. And I've read that Toronto didn't vote for Ford.
So is this punitive?
And that's what other people are thinking. If Toronto has fewer votes because they have fewer municipalities, then he can get ahead of the game next election.
Huh.
Now, he also said that he won't hesitate to use the notwithstanding clause again, which basically means that he can just tell the courts to fuck it.
Is that how he won this one? Was it through the notwithstanding? I thought it went to a higher court than the superior court.
The first court said, no, you can't do it. The second court said, just because it sucks doesn't mean he can't. What he says doesn't go.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
So the rest of Canada is watching Doug Ford do this, and I'm pretty sure we're not okay with it either. We don't understand. We don't know why. It apparently was a part of his platform.
What, screwing Toronto?
Yeah. Or he was going to change, do change to the representation of Ontario.
Huh. Damn. Okay, so so that's happened, and they're in the middle of an election. And there's all sorts of problems with that. You can't go. Oh my God, my brain.
There's no pre-voting.
You can't pre-vote,
because there's no sections to vote for yet.
Right. I
think
that's dangerous as hell.
Yeah. So you can't. It's done away with advanced polling, and apparently people can't vote who are away at university, certain work shifts, that kind of thing.
Right.
So it's created a big problem, but apparently the higher court, whoever it was like, eh.
Huh. Well, so there you go.
We're astounded. The rest of Canada, as far as I know, like we're pretty, but there's all sorts of other people on the comments, right? We're just like, yeah, go Doug Ford. Like it's about time you drain the swamp, which we've heard that before. But yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. It's so weird to me.
Fuck. We live in interesting times.
We're going backwards. Now, I get that if you have too many senators or aldermen or whatever, things might not get done. If too many people are complaining, nothing's going to get done ever. But you also have to make sure your people have a voice, right? Which is where
that's kind of the whole point.
But if there's not enough...
Yeah. Yeah, well, man, it is a weird, weird world. Is it just me, or does Doug Ford look like a Vogon?
Look that up, readers. I'm not going to explain it to you if you don't know.
I don't know,
but we might get letters.
Throwing it out there.
Or we might get shut down.
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things. I saw a picture of him and I was just like, oh my God. Douglas Adams knew some shit.
He's great, actually. I like Douglas Adams. I wasn't a fan of the movie.
Well, the movie wasn't like the books because I don't think you can translate, his voice to film.
No, and I remember
it'd be really difficult to do.
I remember going to that movie for my birthday, I think, a long time ago.
Wasn't Alan Rickman the little robot?
He was Marvin. is great. But I remember being like, I want to see this just to see how the hell they can pull this off. And they didn't pull it off. I mean, everybody individually was great.
Yeah.
It just didn't turn into a great movie.
Pardon me.
Oh, maybe you're getting sick.
I'm not getting sick at all. Oh my goodness. I don't think it was, maybe it was a BBC, maybe could be right, could be wrong, but Terry Pratchett, who I think really is, like, with Douglas Adams and Terry Pratchett, they're two of my favorite authors.
I've never read Terry Pratchett in my life. Now,
BBC, I want to say BBC, I could be wrong, fact check, whatever, put it in the comments, but they did TV shows based on his books, and they are fucking good. Like, they nailed it.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, man. Like, they just captured all the nuance.
Didn't he die in the last couple years?
Yeah.
I remember my Facebook blowing up about that, and I was like, ooh.
Oh, so
I mean,
good.
I've heard of him, but yeah.
One of my favorite books was Mort.
Well.
And whenever Death talked, it was in, like, super small font and all caps.
Really?
It was amazing.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll pick that up one day.
Imagine that it's just this little whisper. That's how I read it in my
Does he
head.
tell jokes?
He's got a very wry sense of humor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mort.
All
right. I'll look for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that you said that we have to fact check or not fact check, because again, we're going to put out the disclaimer that we have absolutely no idea what we're talking about most of the time.
And I think this is the genuine beauty of this show, that we don't edit out our mistakes.
No.
Is that, we're not dumb, but there's a lot of stuff to know, and we know some stuff.
Well, and we actually tried to plan this podcast out a little bit.
Yeah,
we had articles out on our phone, and we have a notebook.
Yeah.
But honestly, once we start rolling, I'm on cold medication.
Yeah.
And a couple beers, which is probably not a good idea.
Did you end up taking your NyQuil?
Not yet.
No,
not yet. But I think my Dayquil is running out, which means my NyQuil should be coming shortly. So,
you know what I've decided to start doing this week?
I could list off numerous things.
Getting my news from BBC.
And why is that?
Well, I feel that it's more of, for me, I think it's a bit more of a balanced worldview. I could be wrong. It is the media, and all media is evil.
It's true.
But what I find is, so we had this hurricane. The Carolinas had a hurricane.
Calgary's just has some shitty weather. That's about it.
No, but so last week, hurricane. Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. Hurricane.
Not to be confused with candy cane.
So last week, Hurricane Florence hit the Carolinas.
Yep.
It's really all we heard about in terms of weather news.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and I know this because I've got family living over there, the Philippines got smoked by a typhoon.
Yeah,
not a small one.
Typhoon, we can't pronounce it. Typhoon hit the northern
peninsula part of the Philippines.
Yeah.
Not thankfully not like the death toll from the last one, but we saw video footage in Manila, which is kind of the middle of the Philippines, like middle of that major island.
Yeah.
And they had floodwaters coming over,
And that was Manila. Manila wasn't technically hit by the hurricane.
No, that was just on the outskirts.
Yeah, like the fallout of the typhoon hurricane.
But we didn't hear about it.
Not at all. And it's funny because our podcast last week, we had mentioned that we were thinking about you, Carolinas, hope you guys pull through okay, get out if you can. And the next day, Dropbear's son sends us a message being like, hey, so a giant Category 5 typhoon, the worst they've seen in a decade, is barreling down on us soon. I'm going to bug out shortly.
Look, and when he first moved there, he went through a typhoon in Clark, which is north of Manila, and he sent me video, live video of the rain going up.
Rain isn't supposed to do that. I've seen rain go sideways.
Oh yeah, that was going
but
up.
So I think
I was like, you need to come home now.
Yeah, like Hurricane Florence was ended up being a Category 2. Started as a 5, but when it hit land, it was down to a 2.
Which is
this
nice.
Typhoon was a 5.
Yeah, all the way through.
And I don't know if anyone here has been to the Philippines, but it's not all, concrete buildings. There's a lot of buildings that are made of corrugated cardboard, Yeah. It's unreal. They buggered out like a whole bunch of people. And
I think I want to say 15 people died, which is terrible. But
I want to say 15 to 40. I don't know the number.
It's also a very small number from the other one, which hundreds of people died.
Yeah. So. There was one a few years ago that was, I think, 6,000.
Oh my God.
So it's incredible. But yeah, the waves are awesome to watch, and they'll be dealing with that still. But
that's why you build a house on sticks, I guess.
More like giant logs.
Yeah.
Death logs made of steel.
Death logs.
Woo!
We've been on a DuckTales kick today. I don't know why.
Yeah. I don't know why either.
Who's to say? Oh, so from the vault of weird news, there's this restaurant that's getting lobsters baked before they bake them.
Are they actually doing it now, or they're saying they're going to?
No, I was led to believe, topically, in the amount that I really dig into a story, which is not much at all. I'm no investigative journalist. I'm led to believe that they're getting the lobsters stoned before they kill them. It's kind of like, why don't they, I don't know, give them like a little morphine shot and let them, before you boil them alive. Or boil them.
You boil them.
Because they wouldn't be alive, they'd be like...
Well, so...
It is really inhumane.
It is. I think you can opt not to bake your lobster before you boil it. That sounds so weird. I remember, so when we lived
I'd like a baked lobster.
But boil it. I'm sorry, sir, what?
No, I want them baked.
Don't get it. No, like
Can
baked.
you give them an edible? A what, sir? Edible. Oh, I thought you said something different.
Oh. So, as we've discussed before, I grew up in Nova Scotia, and we used to get lobsters, and they used to be live, and we would have lobster races across the kitchen floor. And I remember my dad gave one lobster a pen once, and he crushed it, and there was a permanent ink stain on our kitchen floor. But I always had to leave when they went into the pot. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
I even named one once.
Oh, don't do that.
That was a horrible thing to do. His name was Arjanon.
You still remember?
I remember the name. Yeah. I don't know if I'm the one who ate him.
Was he a mighty lobster? It seems like a
soup. Hey, he was like Pinchy the lobster from The Simpsons.
Oh.
He was big and glorious.
I never saw that episode. I've seen probably...
I set them up and you don't knock them down.
Well, I've seen like 3 episodes of The Simpsons-ish.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't watched The Simpsons episode in like 10 years, but it's been around for 40.
I have not even seen a Futurama episode.
We have to remedy this.
Do we?
There's one episode of Futurama that will make everyone cry every time they watch it, so you will not watch that one.
Oh.
But I'll make you watch the other ones. It's quite delightful.
Huh.
Yeah, it's quite delightful.
What about this new one, Disenchanted?
I did not... Okay, so I didn't even last an episode.
Really? Because I've been seeing online, lots of people are loving it.
But... generally, if you prod them, they say it takes about half a season before they actually get rolling. And I'm like, I don't have patience for that. I found the timing really terrible.
Huh.
Like, the how it's... Yeah, the timing of it. Like, the speech and there's too many... I don't know, it's just not put together well.
Or it's put together perfectly, but you've got an old brain that can't catch up with a new thing. You're not hip with the kids anymore. Maybe that's what's happening.
No.
Okay. Cool. We've got a note in our notebook that says media can suck it.
Why would that be?
Okay. And let me paint the picture. We were talking over dinner that Excuse me. How's the tuberculosis treating
It's great. I'm cool.
Yeah. That's good. We were talking that, when we do our podcast, our main disclaimer is that
we don't know shit.
We know shit. Like, we literally know nothing about nothing. Like, we know what we see on the news, and then we know, like, our small circle of interactions with people. That's kind of like, that's what we know. Because it's impossible to know the truth about stuff. Because the media can slant stuff the way that it chooses. Sometimes the media gets it right, sometimes they get it wrong.
And sometimes it's in Russian and you can't understand a goddamn word that they're saying.
We're going to put a link to the footage.
Yeah, hopefully you can get a good link for it.
But how did this happen?
Scott is still in Russia.
Our Russian correspondent.
And a news guy saw his North American bike. And
he didn't see North American bike. He saw his Alberta license plate.
And he saw right?
Yeah.
And he was like, what's this? So it's funny watching it. And we probably talk about this in the interview. But you try to listen to Scott in English, but of course it's overdubbed in Russian. Yeah. So actually, for all I know, the Russian was totally wrong.
Right. Could be like, I come here to like denounce my country.
Who knows? I mean, really. But weird shit happens to Scott in Russia, and this time it happened to be with the Russian media. Not mafia, media. So I also saw a video of you on a news channel in Russia.
Yeah, you made the world news.
Yes.
I am a TV star in Pierre.
And I have the link. We're going to have to include the link in this podcast we're doing. So tell me about that.
Dude, I'm in this little hotel in Pierre, and I get up in the morning. I'm going to walk around the city. I go to there's a coffee shop right around the corner. And walk in there. I order a coffee and a muffin or whatever the hell. And this little guy comes in. He says, "Pardon me, could I talk to you?" He's speaking to me in English. I said, "Well, certainly." He says, "I'm a reporter with the local TV station. I'd like to do an interview." And I looked at him and I said, "Well, why?" He says, "Because I think you're the second motorcyclist I've ever seen from the West and the first from Canada."
Wow.
And how did he know that you were from Canada?
Well, because he saw the plates on the bike.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And he I don't know whether he knew where Alberta was or whether he decided to Google it, but he was thrilled. So so what was really cool, I said, "Yeah, absolutely." And he says, "Okay, look," he says the guys behind the counter, "Hey, put his coffee on hold. We're going to do an interview right now. He's going to be coming back."
Oh shit.
Okay, fine, whatever.
What's happening now?
I don't get my coffee. Whatever. So we go back to to behind the building. Everything in Russia, the courtyards everywhere. Dvor.
Yeah.
So so everything has a courtyard. So if you got a building in the middle of the block, like a building will take up a block, but in between there are courtyards, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. So I got my bike in the courtyard. Buddy boy comes back, and he basically records the entire interview on his iPhone.
No shit.
Really?
Yeah, he just boom.
I had no idea that's what that was. Because does he have like a little stand?
No. He held this thing by hand. Click, boom, did the interview.
Wild.
It was absolutely incredible, and I said to him, "Wow!" I was blown away. I said, "We truly live in an age of miracles." He said, "Yeah," and he said even a couple of years ago he would have had to go back to the studio. He would have to get a camera guy, blah blah blah. Anyway, so he films me. He's taking some pictures of the bike, blah blah. He does a selfie to do the introduction, which is really cool, and then takes it to the studio, splices it all together, and it looks as professional as anything you could imagine getting.
So the unfortunate thing for me is that they overdub your
English,
your answers or your interview, so I don't actually know what you guys talked about.
We can hear you saying English stuff in the background, but mostly you hear the
"Welcome to my life."
So what did you guys talk about? Like, what did he ask?
Well, he'd asked. He said, "Where are you from?" And he says, "And what are you doing?" And he said, He said, "You've had problems, right?" I said, "No problems. I got a new set of tires in Nizhny Novgorod. I got." Everybody's been really open and wonderful and friendly and helpful. I've been having a great time. I absolutely love Russia.
Yeah.
And that's basically it.
Oh.
Was he looking for you to talk about having problems, or you were like?
I don't think he was. Maybe he was looking for some hardcore human interest story. Well, he wasn't getting it from me. I mean, I'm bloody Santa Claus. I'm fine, man. Everything's good. Everything's cool. Everything's awesome.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh, that's so cool.
So there you go. Right from Russia, overdubbed. We don't know what they're saying.
He has the craziest shit happen to him in Russia.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He's been arrested. He's been almost taken to a gulag. But if you watch the video. But this was him in Russia being interviewed, and it seems pretty truthful. We talked with him afterwards. Sometimes there's truth in media, sometimes there's not.
But who knows, because I don't speak Russian.
Me neither. До свидания. Товарищ.
Mr. Bond. Absolutely.
You had this crazy story about an interview that you had, a streeter interview with what, Much Music?
Much Music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back, I think when I was 18? Yeah, about then. There was this AIDS special coming out with Much Music about, AIDS awareness and HIV awareness and whatever. And this was back in like 1996-ish.
Yeah, okay.
And it was really cool. I had known somebody whose brother had passed away from AIDS earlier that year. And me and my boyfriend at the time went down to this area, and they were doing these streeter interviews, which is where they interview people,
right,
quote
like
unquote,
corner,
on the street.
Kinda, yeah.
Now, they asked us a handful of questions, but one of the questions they asked Jason, and I was with him, was, what would you do if your girlfriend here was told she had AIDS?
Yeah.
Diagnosed with AIDS, HIV, AIDS, whatever. And his answer was, I would take 2 steps back and get myself tested an hour later.
Right.
And I went, yeah,
like sort of like 2 steps back, like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then go get yourself tested.
Right.
So the night came. They were doing this age special. Like Jan Arden was involved with it. All this stuff, right? Comes up. There's a still of Jason and I on the screen, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, we're starting off the show! That's so amazing!"
Yeah.
The question that came up on the screen was not what they asked him. The question they put on the screen was, "How would you treat somebody with AIDS?" And of course, his answer is, I would take 2 steps back and get myself tested an hour later. And I'm like,
God.
I was so angry. I was so mad. Much Music made us look like complete assholes, disgusting, discriminatory assholes. And by 1996, you can't catch AIDS by a handshake or a sneeze. It's not like a cold. I called my friend's phone and said, I swear to God, that's not what the question was. Like, I couldn't watch it. I even tried to call like Much Music's or like the hotline, like being like, what the hell, guys? And I was painted as this horrible asshole who was all anti.
Yeah.
It was awful. I was so fucking mad. So ever since then, it's a good lesson to have when you're young. Media either don't pay attention, they screw your answers around so it fits their agenda, blah, 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 which is why we like to say we're saying what we read, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's 100% legit.
Yeah, I think, and I've suffered differently, not anywhere close to that.
Screw you, Much Music. Screw you.
I was misquoted in a newspaper article about this jiu-jitsu school that I was running. Mm-hmm. It was back also in the 90s at Mount Merrill College. And it was a college paper. I get it. And I was interviewed and we did this big thing. And I was so heinously misquoted. And not, it wasn't defamatory at all. It all still worked out well, but it was so not what I said. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of blown away.
Yeah.
Because my answers are very, they're to a point. They're to serve this greater thing. So my answers were on message, I guess is what I'm saying. So when I read my answers that were not on message, that were complete fabrication, to serve the story, I was pissed.
Yeah.
And since then, I've been very, very careful about what I present to the media.
Yeah.
And I'm also careful because I work in media in a lot of different aspects of my work to treat it very carefully, like to treat the truth, as it's given to you.
Yeah.
Because you can twist it. And this is why I see stuff all the time on the news that people get so fucked up about. They're so mad. And then it's a simple, you didn't see the 15 minutes of the story that the person was building before they said the crazy tilt.
Yeah.
All you get is the tilt. You don't get the story. You don't get the platform before it. So it's completely out of context.
Yeah.
And suddenly this person looks like an asshole.
Yeah.
And people like fly off the handle, and that's not the case. And I know that I've known people that have almost wanted to kill themselves because of how they were treated in the media. Mm-hmm. And it's not right. And
and with the college paper, like I doubt that they had it like you on a recording.
No.
That's hard to fuck up. But like, you should at least know the questions you're asking. So when they write down your notes at the end, they can't be like, oh, that's what I have written down. And you're like, yeah, but you obviously took out a few vowels and consonants and turned some words around, right? Yeah. The Much Music thing, like, it was all on video.
Yeah.
It was all
they just took
right
they
there.
Took a section. So the editor, the producer, was just like, fuck, that's gold. Cut it with this, add this thing. What if
we did this?
Yeah. It's brutal, but you got to amp up that drama. And yeah.
And honestly, I'm pretty sure, like, for the rest of the special that I watched, Jason and I were the only ones who seemed like total douchebags. Yeah. Everybody else was very supportive, which we were too. And maybe they were just disappointed they couldn't find anyone who was.
Yeah. Well, you got to look for that thing. You guys were the soundbite they chose to use. That's too bad.
So mad. Yeah. But, so angry.
Yeah. Huh. How are you going to save the world this week, Panda?
Take your cold medication. Wash your hands all the time. Sneeze into your armpit, not into your hand.
Into your armpit?
Yeah. So when you sneeze, like that. You can't see it.
I've been doing the elbow.
Well, into your elbow, like I'm short, so I could do my elbow, but it doesn't reach my face. I sneeze into your arm. So if you go to shake somebody's hand...
Do short people have longer biceps? Never mind. That's cool.
I'm going to make him sick. Just you wait.
No.
So you sneeze into your jacket or whatever, so if you go press a button on the elevator, you're not smearing your germs everywhere.
Did you get a cold shot? Or a flu shot?
They're not available yet at the hospital, but we staff get them as soon as they come out.
Are you too late?
Sorry.
It is the plague. I've been hearing from so many people about this plague that swept the nation.
Oh my God. Like I didn't think my face could hold that much fluid. It's never too late to get the flu shot. I do want to say, like, they have flu shots up until June, I think. And sometimes they're more effective than others. What they do, I've been told by a nurse, what they do is they look at the flus that hit the other side of the world.
Yeah.
When they have their summer, we have our winter.
Yeah.
Etc.
Sort of see what's coming through and
exactly. And because there's people take airplanes and whatever, it gets passed on. So they try to immunize against the worst ones that happened in the southern hemisphere.
Right.
However, that's not always correct. Like the last year, was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think it was pretty much
North America they got slaughtered with a flu that actually wasn't that big in Australia or something like that. Huh. So I will always get my flu shot. I work at the hospital. There's sick people everywhere. I have nephews. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get sick.
Yeah.
Just because it won't keep me from getting sick doesn't mean that I want to get sick by the worst ones that are out there.
Yeah.
So you can imagine if I, let's say, get the flu in 6 months after being immunized, you can imagine how bad I could have gotten it if I wasn't immunized.
Huh.
Get your flu shot, people.
That's the tip?
That's my tip. If you're not going to get a flu shot, you better wash your hands 25 times a day and don't touch stuff and wear gloves and the flu can kill you.
I bought you masks.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you had like little masks.
Yeah, I tried to go to rehearsal on Monday.
I couldn't find the cool ones though.
Yeah.
I think those are in the Asian markets.
Oh my God,
No, I'm serious. I think they are because I see a lot of Asian people with masks like regularly downtown in Kensington when I'm walking around. Predominantly Asian people with these kick-ass cool masks, like medical masks and
maybe
different colors.
They really know something we don't.
Well, probably.
I could always take the medical mask that you gave me and like draw a nose on it with some whiskers.
Oh my God. I could do. You'd just be huffing like Jiffy.
Just
all
fill.
day.
Woo!
Woo!
Well, I don't know how you're going to save the world.
Well, I will tell you how I'm going to save the world. Is I'm going to actually dial down, and I'm going to work on your commercial this week.
Shut the front door, really?
Yeah, that's how it has been in my notebook every single day since our bet. And it's always there, Panda's commercial. It's a regular thing. So I'm actually scripting it out. I'm thinking about my shot list.
Why don't you explain to our new listeners what this commercial is?
Well,
I try to breathe a little bit.
I lost a bet. As is my way. I overextended myself in like a soccer match. And so the bet was that I had to produce a radio commercial and a television commercial extolling the virtues of Panda.
What?
Yep. I've done the radio commercial. It was epic. Maybe I'll put a link to it again in this podcast. Yeah. But I've been a little busy. I think you can agree that it's been a little hectic and crazy.
Prioritize, man. Hey. I'm dying here.
You might not be around to see it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, a little bit.
Anyway, so that's how I'm going to save the world. Is I am really focusing on the Panda commercial.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's about frickin' time.
Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play Music. What?
Spotify.
I said that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Or check out our website. Our website has all the things too.
That's right. You can jump on there. YouTube. Come on. We've got like 700 and some odd followers on YouTube. Kick
We're
ass.
quite delightful.
I know. And we've got a Halloween special that's going to be coming up.
Yep.
And we're working on a puppet extravaganza. I won't say anything else.
Yep. Just all you have to know is puppet extravaganza.
You're doing great.
I'm so tired and sick.
I've been Dropbear.
I've been Panda.
And together, we saved
the world.
Yo, it's Dropbear and Panda, yo. Yo, it's Dropbear and Panda, yo. Dropbear and Panda, coming at you, Panda. Coming at you like a locomotive on a motherfucking bender. Yeah, tap my quarter, now my tap, follow me. Yeah, with Michael Doggies, yeah, you be checking on the flow, yo. Checking flow, but you was quick, you can't pick my medical ranges, angles, tangles. You get tangled, twisted side reflections. Child should be, can't compete with the owls that devour. Yeah, with the owls that devour, yeah. Yeah, it's a Dropbear and Panda, coming at you, randa. Dropbear and Panda, coming at you, randa. Dropbear and Panda, coming at you, randa. It's like a locomotive filled with autonomous chopper. Dropbear and Panda, coming at you, randa. It's like a locomotive filled with autonomous chopper.
Dropbear and Panda.